Hi, today we are going to create this effect of roll-on spheres on a surface, replicate it multiple times with different parameters. Each circle has a different speed and radius, but they all continuously follow in this roll-on effect. The setup is based on a single ring of spheres. Using GLSL code, we calculate the rotation and a set of various attributes. Here we can adjust the size, number of points, and radius, and speed. And then we use this object in a replicator comp to create a large number of copies that are rendered in our final image. We will add parameters for variation, camera animation, and other elements. You can find the complete setup file on my Patreon page. Let's go up and turn this off. So let's make it from scratch. We'll take a sphere, put it in geometry comp. I want to add a little black dot on top of the sphere, created not with a texture but with a geometry, as I will be applying the texture to the sphere itself. We will simply delete the part of the sphere. I will use bounding volume. The size is similar to the sphere and a bit larger. I set the size here and move it slightly to get this little cap. Set the color, the black for cap, and make this one white. Merge them together. Currently the sphere is in the center, but we need to slightly offset it from the center to the radius of the circle. So here we go, the best setup, the sphere and black dot on top is ready, and we can start code our GLSL node. We need to create a few parameters. I just copied them from my code. We need time, just regular expression. Number of points on the circle. Circle radius. And we use it to offset our sphere. Speed and sphere radius. We don't need it. This radius will be needed for calculations, and we use it to set up the radius of the sphere. Let's make it a little smaller. And now we work with GLSL top settings. 32-bit float. I want us to have a single stripe like this, and the number of pixels corresponds to the number of points. So we take the number of points and set it in the texture size. So we have a texture of size 15 by 1 now, where each pixel has some value. And here, if you look, there is an index. It starts at 0 and goes to 14. So from 0 it will be 15. We are going to use this now. Open the GLSL code editor, delete everything that we don't need, leave this main void. This is where the main calculations happens, and you can use a frag color. Actually, it doesn't matter. I just like to name it like this. And now we need these variables that we had in a GLSL node. I'll just copy them from there to save time. So this is how all variables are introduced directly from GLSL node. So we just copy this name, add uniform, and then the variable type, whether it's float, integer, or something else, and the name. Don't forget to add a semicolon because GLSL is very sensitive to punctuation. So we need to start by defining this point index. This is very simple. We just take the point coordinates. That is, we make an integer value, point index, or point number. This is what we saw here. These are the coordinates of each pixel. Next, we calculate how much we need to shift each sphere around the center of circle. So they fill the entire circle. Multiply 360 by index of sphere and divide by the number of spheres. It's pretty simple. Next, we need to calculate the rotation relative to the center. We just take this offset and add the time multiplied by the speed. These are our other attributes. The sphere will rotate at the same speed relative to the center. Next, we calculate the distance. This is the distance the sphere will travel with a given radius. This is over a given time at a given speed. It travels this distance. The calculation is for each point. And based on this, we calculate the angle. So if it travels this distance and we divide it by the sphere's radius, we get the angle it should rotate by. And that's it. We output this to the texture. This is our output texture, frag rotation, vec4. We write the rotation around its own axis to the red channel, and relative to the center to the green channel. We need to remove this. Here we got a strip like this. It has some values, they change if you look. Now we can use this texture for our instance. Let's name it rod. And turn on instancing. Insert the red channel into channel X. The sphere start rotating with some offset. Yeah. And here we insert the central rotation. Here are our spheres. They roll slowly and rotate at the speed at which they should cover the distance. To use these parameters in Replicator, we need to output them here into the parent node. So we simply click the Customize component. We can go inside and just drag all the necessary attributes we need. We will need the number of points. I want it to be there. We will bend it as master. Rename it to the number of points. This will be points. Next we need the radius of the circle. It will be U red. Like here. And we need speed. We'll take just speed. That's it. You can rename it wherever you want or leave it as it is. That's it. Now we have this section done. You can make it them float if you want. I won't do it now because it's clear that we only take the first value. Now we can change all these values. Some number of spheres, how many will there be, doesn't matter now. Okay, we'll leave 17. Now we can start setting up the replicator. Let's create a replicator. Let's call it spheres. In the replicator we need the master operator, place it here, and create them based on the number of copies. So let's start by creating 10. Here are layout settings. This is how everything works. Now it has created 10 copies. We can make it in one line. You can set it up to be more convenient to use. And move on to setting up the replicator itself, because we also need to write a small code here. This is no longer GLSL, this is Python. And let's see what they suggest here. There are several code groups. There's an onReplicate and then a loop for each object in new operators. This is for newly created replicas. I'll take the code that has already been used, so it's not boring. So at this point, when a node is created, we set several parameters that we need. These are our parameters. Let's make some space. This parameter will be the base radius of the circle we start from, the base number of points, radius increment, the radius at which we will increase each subsequent circle, and the base speed. Why is everything base? Because we will be operating with modified values later. Here I use I in the code. Well, let's do it like that. Delete this. So now we create a loop. For each I operator in all newly created replicas, we'll use these definitions. OP is for the operator. We refer to some operator, in this case to our master operator, which will copy the settings to each replica. Parameter, well, any parameter here. And then the name of the parameter itself. So first we take ured. This is our radius. And we can take the base value at the replica number and multiply it by the radius increment. That is, make each subsequent replica larger by this small value. And we do this with any parameters that we want to modify in each replica. So now it's the operator, the parameter, the number of points. The base number of points will be 6, and we add some values of the increase. And I also want to add some variations in speed. Here is random. To use it, we need to import this function. By default, it's not here. So import random. Okay. And now we use random uniform and set the range. Just create a variable that we will use later. Here I will use only one direction for now, but actually I will write like this. We leave it uncommented. You can use different directions of rotations by this simple code. So, okay, save this code and restart our replicator. Yeah, and we have some error. Okay, let me pause here. Yeah, I forgot that we use vec4 values from our master operator, so we need reference only x value for each parameter. Yeah, and points and speed. Okay, let's have it. And it works. It creates 10 copies with different radius, speed. Okay, now we take the render, camera. Let's take this out. Zoom out. And we need a material. Let's take a constant. And make a texture for this material. Use a simple rum top. Adjust some values. I wanna make this little strip. And yeah, we need the vertical type. Here we go. Yeah, and that's it. But oh yeah, we have this ring, because now the render top is render out everything that we have in the scene. So we just need to remove this and type the replica name and put an asterisk here. That's it, we will render only the replicas. That's all. The basic setup is ready. We can change its parameters. For example, add something here, make the variation more noticeable. Let's make it 2. The only condition with the replicator is that you need to recreate all the nodes each time when you change the code. For example, change the speed, change the directions. Comment this. Save. Oh yeah, I forgot this X. Save it and click recreate all. We can create a lot of copies. Everything works very quickly because basically each sphere is calculated in GLSL and there is nothing to slow there. It's very fast now and don't like it. So let's change it. Speed X, save. Okay. You can play with any other parameters. You can create many different parameters here and define them. In my page, I had some different variations, add some circle for background, RGB delay, texture shifting. Yeah, and here in Replicator you can use different sets of code. You hard-code it manually. This one has a little smaller amount of spheres, and you can change it by this switch. So here is the first, and this is the second code. It recreates for a long time because it's literally has to recreate all of them. Yeah, it looks like this. Yeah, but still it works quite fast. 60 fps on my laptop. Speed drops a bit during creation, but overall it's not critical, not noticeable. The setup itself works quite fast and well. That's all. Thank you. I would appreciate your support on my Patreon page. Bye.